Let's talk about the Dai Li, the secret police and the oppressive force in the city of Ba Sing Se. Now, what happened to them after the Legend of Korra? And by that I mean obviously the Dai Li were serving the Earth Queen, and then of course they were defeated by the Red Lotus, and the Red Lotus killed the Earth Queen, and the Earth Kingdom fell into a state of anarchy, and there was massive chaos without a central government to hold everything together. And so I'm guessing the Dai Li were probably not very effective in that case, and maybe it's possible that probably most of the Dai Li agents died in Ba Sing Se, because I'm sure the people in Ba Sing Se, I mean, they'd already gone crazy and started burning everything and looting everything. So maybe the frustrated citizens of Ba Sing Se just decided to take revenge on the oppressive Dai Li agents and start killing them all. So I think the likely scenario is that the Dai Li agents just all died in Ba Sing Se after the demise of the Earth Queen. Because when you think about it, like, why were there no Dai Li agents present at Prince Wu's coronation, at King Wu's coronation in Book 4? Like, why are there no Dai Li agents there? I mean, I think it's probably just likely that they all died in Ba Sing Se. They were just all just killed. Or maybe the Red Lotus just killed them all. Like, it's maybe the Red Lotus figured, oh, hey, we killed the queen, but these oppressive secret police are still remaining, so we might as well just kill all the Dai Li. So yeah, so maybe they were all killed by the citizens of Ba Sing Se or by the Red Lotus members. Um, I mean, it's possible that that some survived and they escaped and just went far away and became irrelevant. Maybe they'll pop up again at some point. But yeah, that's what I think happened to the Dai Li agents. Now, to recap, obviously it was Avatar Kyoshi who created the Dai Li, because remember the 46th Earth King, the Earth Queen's great, 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 five times great grandfather, was a massively oppressive king, and people hated him. And that's why people like Chen the Conqueror was able to start a massive rebellion, and that's why the citizens of Ba Sing Se had basically started a rebellion, and they were just destroying all the cultural artifacts and trying to get rid of the Earth King. And then the Earth King told Avatar Kyoshi to brutally suppress the protesters, but Avatar Kyoshi refused, and instead she created the Dai Li secret police force to help keep order in Ba Sing Se. And of course, Avatar Kyoshi made the Earth King basically a figurehead monarch, and the Dai Li were keeping order, and and then Kyoshi's like, "You're gonna listen, Earth King. You're gonna listen to the people, and in exchange, these secret police are gonna keep you on the throne." But obviously, over time, the Dai Li devolved, and they became too powerful, and they just became the new oppressing force, and the Earth King was just totally irrelevant. And then we have Long Feng, who got control of the Dai Li, and we'll talk about Long Feng later. And then, of course, Azula got control of the Dai Li, and the Dai Li helped the Fire Nation take over Ba Sing Se. I mean, they literally handed the Ba Sing Se over to the Fire Nation. The Dai Li are the reason the Earth Kingdom fell. I mean, they're one of the many reasons, but yeah. Anyway, and then, of course, they were serving Azula. Dai Li were on Azula's side. And then eventually, once Azula banished the Dai Li, because she didn't trust them anymore, because she was having trust issues and a massive breakdown. So, and then after Azula banished the Dai Li, like 70 odd years later, we see them again with the Earth Queen, and they'd return to Ba Sing Se. So one might think, and I thought, well, how on earth were the Dai Li allowed back? Like, these guys are traitors. They betrayed the Earth Kingdom. They literally helped the Fire Nation take over the Earth Kingdom. So why on earth were they allowed back? And my guess is it took several years. So from book 3 of Avatar The Last Airbender and book 1 of Legend of Korra, there's about 70 years in between. So Legend of Korra is like 70 years after Avatar The Last Airbender. And of course, we see the Dai Li again for the first time, again in book 3 of Legend of Korra. So here's my theory. My theory is that You know how obviously the Earth King, Kui, was very just useless for a long time because he was Long Feng's puppet, and then of course Team Avatar helped him out, and so the Earth King put Long Feng in prison, and then of course Dai Li did a coup d'état with Azula, and Earth King got overthrown, and then after the war was over, the Earth King returned to Ba Sing Se and became and retook his position as the king, and was um, he was more active as a ruler, and he governed as an actual king this time, but obviously he was nicer because he allowed the Fire Nation colonies to become the United Republic. So, and obviously his daughter, Earth Queen, was complaining about how weak and ineffective her father was. But anyway, the point is, Earth King did become more of an actual king after the war, so I highly doubt that he would have allowed the Dai Li back into the city, considering how they were responsible for overthrowing him in the first place. So I don't think the Earth King, Kui, is the one who led the Dai Li back, because he would never have trusted them, especially after how they'd been controlling him for many years with under Long Feng and how they'd overthrown him under Azula. So there's no way the Earth King allowed the Dai Li back. So my theory is that his power-hungry daughter, the Earth Queen, was always fascinated by the stories of the Dai Li, and she probably decided she wanted them back. And so maybe she sent out an invitation and said, "Hey, Dai Li, come back on the condition that you serve me and you are bound to me and you'll do exactly as I say." And so maybe the Dai Li were like, "Well, we need a master, so let's just go back to her." So I think that's what happened. I think sometime after the Earth King, Kui, died, and Earth Queen took over, I think she's probably the one who called the Dai Li back. And by then many years had passed, so there wasn't really much of a concern that they would try to overthrow the Earth Kingdom again. Or theoretically, I guess another possibility is that maybe the Earth King decided to recruit a completely new batch of Dai Li agents, like train them in the exact same way. But I find that unlikely. Like, I think they would have to be trained by the original agents, so I find that this last thought that I had unlikely. But my point is, I think that Dai Li probably died in Legend of Korra. Like, I think they were just wiped out by the Red Lotus and the citizens of Ba Sing Se, and I don't think they're relevant anymore. I don't think we'll see them again.